But that lady, that new press secretary, she's a gangster.
That video, dude.
She's a gangster. They're prepared. And you know why they're prepared? Because they're trying to play gotcha.
Yep.
So she played gotcha with them. She checkmated them.
She came in there with that Elon Musk flamethrower.
Play that video.
Watching this clip, I couldn't help but think how ironic that Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and the rest of the ladies on The View spend their time calling Republicans the conspiracy theorists. But they have been wrong about everything they have said over the last couple of years.
The hosts on The View took aim at White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, criticizing her simply for standing firm and refusing to bow to what many saw as predictable political pressure. The commentary became so intense that podcast giant and outspoken commentator Joe Rogan weighed in. On a recent episode of his show, Rogan criticized The View for what he described as exaggerated, out-of-touch commentary, arguing that the panel often misses the concerns of everyday Americans. If you enjoy bold, unfiltered discussions like this, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment of commentary that gets people talking.
That new press secretary, she's a gangster.
That video, dude.
She's a gangster. Have you seen that video?
You've never
Jamie?
seen someone more prepared for a question in your life, Jamie.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Small point on that. Not the big point, but small point. She was so prepared for this.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, she's supposed to be prepared.
That's why I
Jamie.
said you've never seen someone more
why?
prepared.
For that,
They're prepared.
Joe Rogan began by commending Caroline for remaining composed and confidently handling tough questions from the press. He pointed out what many viewers have noticed. She communicates clearly, stays focused, and projects confidence under pressure. Supporters argue that she brings a sharp, organized approach to the podium. He contrasted that with criticisms often directed at former press secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, who faced frequent scrutiny over her delivery and responses during the Biden administration. To some observers, Caroline represents a different communication style, direct, articulate, and assertive. However, the hosts on The View have expressed skepticism. They view her approach differently, questioning her experience and perspective, highlighting the deep divide in how political figures are perceived across media platforms.
Young lady this is her first job, I would like her to do a little homework because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain something to you, because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
She's probably been put in there because according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
So what sparked the controversy? Caroline firmly stated that she would not engage in what she considers unfair or ideologically driven criticism. That response quickly drew strong reactions. Critics felt it was confrontational, while supporters saw it as confident and principled. Regardless of perspective, she did not back down. She defended her position and challenged what she described as selective outrage. Interestingly, even commentators like Bill Maher, who is not aligned with conservative politics, have criticized The View in the past for leaning heavily into performative outrage and identity-focused debates. The broader conversation reflects ongoing tensions within media about tone, substance, and open dialogue.
The usual suspects on the far left that the saying is, when you're in a hole, stop digging. You just lost a crazy contest to an actual crazy person. What a shocker that the people who see everything through the lens of race and sex see their election loss as a result of racism and sexism. Yes, if only we weren't so irredeemably unenlightened, we would have elected a black president by now. Oh, what?
When critics from across the political spectrum raise concerns, it often signals a deeper conversation worth having. Caroline's supporters argue that she forced a moment of reflection by directly addressing the criticism rather than avoiding it. Initially, she chose not to respond publicly, focusing instead on her official duties. But as remarks continued, some questioning her qualifications and others making personal comments, she eventually responded. Her reply was measured but firm, pushing back against what she saw as dismissive or unfair narratives. Supporters say her response highlighted what they perceive as inconsistency from commentators who champion empowerment yet criticize women whose political views differ from their own.
I couldn't help but think how ironic that Whoopi Goldberg and Behar and the rest of the ladies on The View spend their time calling Republicans the conspiracy theorists. But they have been wrong about everything they have said over the last couple of years. They likened President Trump to Hitler. They have mocked him. They have shamed him. They have lied about him consistently on their show. And it was a joy to watch them on November the 6th when they realized that tens of millions of Americans do not listen to the lies that they have spewed. These women are completely out of touch with reality. And you're right, ABC should wait.
Caroline's response cut through the debate in a way that was hard to ignore. Direct and confident, it quickly became a trending moment. While critics argued she escalated the situation, supporters praised her clarity and precision. The exchange intensified when Whoopi Goldberg responded, defending the panel's perspective and reiterating their concerns. The back and forth reflected a larger national divide over media credibility, political tone, and ideological balance. For many viewers, the moment underscored how quickly televised debates can shift from policy discussions to pointed personal exchanges.
Women were not invited to many tables in this nation. The reason we fought and busted our behinds to make sure that you didn't have to worry about this. And now to hear you talk about it and to hear anybody talk about the wokeness was put in place for a reason.
Some viewers say they find the tone of certain segments on The View frustrating, particularly when conversations turn heated. Whoopi Goldberg, an accomplished actress with a long career in film and television, often speaks passionately about social issues. Critics question whether her commentary effectively advances the causes she discusses, while supporters argue she uses her platform to raise awareness. Like many live television formats, the show has produced moments that sparked backlash and debate. Whether one agrees or disagrees with her takes, Goldberg remains a prominent media voice whose statements frequently generate headlines. It was within this broader media landscape that Joe Rogan decided to weigh in, bringing even more attention to the debate.
People love to hate.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
They get so much hate watching and hate watching viral clips of them saying ridiculous things. I mean, it is a rabies infested henhouse.
Joe Rogan's response was intense and unapologetic. He sharply criticized The View, describing it as overly dramatic and disconnected from meaningful debate. Rogan referenced past controversial remarks from the panel, including widely reported backlash over Goldberg's comments about the Holocaust, which she later clarified and apologized for. He also challenged comparisons made on the show about different social struggles, arguing that complex issues deserve careful and nuanced discussion. Rogan framed his critique as a call for higher standards in public discourse. His comments reignited conversations about media responsibility, historical accuracy, and the role of opinion shows in shaping public understanding.
Went after Joe Rogan on The View, and he fired back spectacularly.
You're worried about losing your job, and you're worried about podcasts taking over, and who's the source of news, and we said Donald Trump was Hitler, but half the country disagreed with us, and he won, and this is and Joe Rogan believes in dragons. They're trying to play gotcha.
Yep.
So she played gotcha with them. She checkmated them.
She came in there with that fucking Elon Musk flamethrower.
Play that video.
Rogan also addressed Behar, mocking a claim that he once believed in mythical creatures, a remark he dismissed as absurd. Using his trademark sarcasm, he questioned the consistency and rigor of certain on-air arguments. However, he balanced his criticism by again praising Caroline, highlighting what he sees as her composure and quick thinking. Rogan argued that she navigates intense scrutiny effectively and communicates without relying heavily on political buzzwords. In his view, she represents a straightforward style that contrasts sharply with what he considers theatrical punditry. Whether one agrees or not, his commentary amplified the debate and drew even more public attention to the exchange.
Whoopi Goldberg saying it's worse to be a black person in America today than a woman in Iran. I see we were talking about the trans issue before, and the New York Times really has come over on that to the sort of the sensible, liberal, not crazy woke position. I think this is a great first step toward getting the Democrats back to sanity, and a second good step would be We got to do something about the view.
Bill Maher has argued that modern political discourse has drifted far from traditional liberal principles such as open debate, free expression, and tolerance for disagreement. He and others believe some media platforms contribute to polarization by rewarding outrage over nuance. Critics of The View say the show sometimes reflects that trend, while supporters argue it provides an important forum for diverse perspectives. Broader debates about gender identity, free speech, and social policy continue to divide Americans, and media outlets often become battlegrounds for those conversations. Through it all, Caroline's supporters say she has positioned herself as confident and unafraid to challenge critics. Joe Rogan's vocal defense of her echoed frustrations shared by many viewers who want more substantive debate and less spectacle. Whether you see it as a media showdown or a clash of ideologies, one thing is certain: the conversation is far from over. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more in-depth analysis. And this brings us to the end of today's video. If you enjoyed it, then hit the like button and subscribe to this channel for more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next.